All right, so I tried to do this stream a few minutes ago, and I had to literally kill the stream because it was not working correctly. And the reason it was not working correctly is because, yeah, ChatGPT is kind of being weird sometimes. It was not understanding the library, and it was refusing to directly read it either from this page or from the library page on GitHub. Basically, what I wanted to try here is I wanted to try the new Canvas mode in ChatGPT 4.0, whatever they want to call it. And as you can see here on the right-hand side, there is now this canvas. So it's kind of supposedly much easier to work from code. You can also make your own changes, and ChatGPT will respond to them. Whoa, I didn't want to undo. What did I do? Okay, let's actually take this latest state, because I clicked here right now. I'm kind of afraid to touch anything because right now it is working. So I want to show you as it is actually working. All right, so we have this set up, and at the moment I have something already going. So what I told ChatGPT is I just went in here and I gave it a basic prompt that tells it like, hey, I want to make this wavetable app. I want you to use Qt5 for the GUI, and I want you to use this OSCGen library, which I have used in the past where I was coding myself. And I know that this library is great and that it creates wavetables. Then I told it to create a number of menu items. Let's not dwell on every bit here because you'll see it in a second in the graphical representation. But it was not that simple. Like, it was really struggling, and some stuff it was fine. I knew, okay, yeah, I needed to install my virtual envelope and I needed to set up some things. But then it got kind of crazy and it was guessing regarding the library's functions, and it kept throwing errors. And I didn't understand why it was throwing errors until I finally was like, wait a minute, are you just making shit up? And what eventually did work was uploading the library to ChatGPT, and then like literally uploading it. So taking the OSCGen library, throwing it over here, and after I did that, it kind of worked. So let's first of all see where we are at right now. Oh, well, before that, one last thing. Of course, it continued to make some mistakes, but at least it was mistakes that it could deal with. It wasn't like absolutely not naming the library correctly or something like that. So far, so good, let's say. And yeah, so let's have a look at what we have at the moment. If I go and launch my my little script here, in the end, look, even though it took me a little bit, it's still way faster than coding, obviously. Not to mention that I don't have the coding skills to really, like, I probably could if I really set my mind to it, but just using Qt and being resizable and all of that. And it kind of works. So what we have here is we can select the frame size, which would be the size, you know, in samples of each individual cycle. And we can see here in Wavelab that it is kind of correct. Well, not kind of, it is correct. If I go and show by samples, we see that after 2048, a new sample comes in. And we also see that it is correctly 100 cycles. So the overall size of the whole thing, 2048 times 100. So this is okay. And we have what we want. And what we're doing is we're choosing the frame size, we're choosing the number of cycles, we're choosing the bitrate and sample rate of the output file. And then we're choosing a starting waveform to start with, and we're choosing an end waveform. And then what we're doing is kind of interpolating between the waveforms. So if I, let's say, now go to square and I go, let me close this guy for a second so it doesn't get confused. So if we go to square and then, well, where was I? We go to square and then we go to sawtooth and we click create. It will create, hopefully, a square to sawtooth morph. And we do see it. It's kind of interesting, the in-between waves. And now if we take this wave over to contact, So I have my contact instrument here, which can load user waveforms. If we take it in here and we morph this morph button, we can see that it's pretty amazing. It's working exactly as it should. And we can even morph this wavetable with an LFO or something, so maybe let's try that. So it is doing that, but why don't we see if we can kind of challenge it and see if it can create even more, crazier things. So right now, having just the start and the end waveform, that's 2 locations. What if we had additional locations, like start waveform? Let's go for start waveform, middle waveform, and end waveform perhaps. And also what I don't like is that it just creates this generic sample name. So how about we kind of tell it to give us like a field where we can enter the name of the sample. So how about let's add a text entry field, and that would be the name of the resulting sample. Let's have the default name as OS Wave. All right, let's go step by step. Let's try this. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna close this guy so that we can copy the paste and then why did it fail to edit? That's interesting. Okay. Let's try that again. That's kind of weird. And it's now sort of stuck and being buggy again. It's amazing, as soon as I try to stream this thing live, it starts to stop cooperating. I don't know. So let's see. He says he added it. Let's take our script. Let's paste it. And let's see. Wow, okay, cool. Enter sample name. So it actually did understand what we want to do. Let's create the wavetable really quickly. And he called it OS Wave and he added the extra information. Look, you know what? We did not tell him to do that, but I'm okay with it. That's actually pretty cool that it has this information as long as it gives the sample name prefix to it. Fine, let's live with this. All right, so we have this now. Now let's just make sure, because now we created and it's on sign, and let's see that. Yeah, we see that nothing really changes because it's morphing from a sign into a sign. So that is pretty cool, actually. All right, let's try now one more thing. Let's add those additional middle areas. So let's do that. Let's now add a menu for a middle wave, which would be a morphing point in the middle between the start and end points with the same selections of waves as the others. And then when creating the resulting file, the morph should go from start to middle to end. Let's see if it understands it this way. So let's see what's going on. Cool, it did some stuff. Let's see. I've added a menu, middle wave. Cool. Let's see. So we're going to take our code, we're going to copy, we're going to paste, and we're going to try to rerun this thing. And we do have now a start waveform, middle waveform, and end waveform. What would be the best way to test this? How about we do sine, and square, and then we kind of should be seeing that it goes all the way around, and let's try renaming this thing here. We didn't actually check that if you give a new name. It says that it did it. Interesting. I was expecting it to go borked, but it didn't bork. But let's see if it did it correctly. So, oh wow, it did. It did. That is cool. That is very, 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 very cool. Very, very, very cool. So we're at this point now, and now I'm starting to get a little bit fucking greedy, you know? I'm thinking, how about we do some craziness? So how about we try to encapsulate everything about the select start waveform, select middle waveform, select end waveform. Let's encapsulate all this also on the GUI side, and maybe let's call all this waveform 1, and then do a waveform 2, and then maybe let's ask it to crossfade between the two. I don't know. Let's do some crazy stuff. Let's do exactly that. So how about, let's first try encapsulating these. So let's tell it on the GUI side. Let's try to be, it's actually understanding, like I'm not being that precise with what I'm telling it. I have to be honest, I'm a little bit kind of confused. It's also the first time I'm doing a live stream, and I'm kind of panicking that this whole thing is gonna bork and not gonna work. So far so good with the prompts as well. So on the GUI side, group the start, middle, and end waves so that they are grouped and together are called wave 1, or are called and represented as wave 1. Let's see what he makes of that. So it's editing, I see, layout, blah, blah, blah. And he says he did it in the group box in the GUI. That's exactly kind of, so it looks like it understood. Let's paste it back in. And let's try running this one more time. And it's taking it a minute. That's not a good sign. And why is it taking it so long to load? So that kind of spells trouble maybe. I'm going to force quit it. I'm going to try one more time, and then if it doesn't load the second time, I'm going to tell it that that's what happens. So I'm going to make a screenshot of this thing bouncing. I'm going to paste it here, and I'm going to say it is stuck loading without anything happening or any console messages. I have to force quit it. Let's see what it makes of that. The UI may be stuck, blah, 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 blah. Let me fix these issues. Cool, so it's saying that it sees something. And yeah, I fixed the group, blah, 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 unintended nesting. Let's see. And it seems to still kind of do the bouncing thing. It is still now stuck loading. Only force quitting is possible. It looks like there's an issue in the good layout, blah, 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 blah. Clean up the UI elements, properly organize them, make sure there are no unintended issues. Let's see. It's okay for me if it kind of makes these errors. What it's not okay is if it goes into this endless loop where it doesn't, like it tries to fix it and it says, yeah, I'm fixing it, yeah, like now. So that is not that great. So we're going to try something else here, because I don't think that, so my experience so far with ChatGPT is if it gets into this kind of mode where it kind of has an error and then it tries to fix it again and again and again, that kind of leads it into some sort of crazy loop, and it can never, like, it's really hard to pull out of it. So we're going to do this isn't working, go back to the code state prior to grouping the controls. Let's see if it at least does that. If we get back to that point, we can maybe kind of go, well, it's saying fail to edit. Amazing. Fail to edit. So amazing. Let's see what it actually has here. Well, it is editing though. It's saying fail to edit as it's editing. I don't understand. I attempted to revert the code to step before Google. However, change weren't successful. You remove. I'll need to remove. Yeah, okay, do it. Get it working, biatch. And again, it's failing to edit. I don't understand the problem. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where ChatGPT sometimes try to get worked on. Let me know if you'd like me to clean this up manually. Yes, please. Yes, clean this up manually. It's kind of funny when the chat uses the word manually, right? Like what does the chat consider as manual and not manual? That's a bit weird. And now this fail to edit. To be honest, I haven't seen this specific fail to edit stuff before using the canvas, so I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, bro, what did you do? Okay, let's go here. And yeah, it's still stuck on this mode. I'm gonna try, I don't know how many times, like 3, 4 undos. Okay, this loads, and this, yeah, okay. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna take this code state, which seems to have worked, and I'm gonna say I fixed it by pasting a previous state. Okay, and now let's try this again. I want the start, middle, and end grouped on the GUI as wave 1. Alright, so he's doing the edits. I've grouped the blah blah blah, wave 1 using a group box. So he's kind of giving me the same answer as before when it was borked, so I'm not really optimistic that this is going to work this time. I think it went through the same sort of... yeah. Alright, so it borked again, and I think at this point I'm not gonna fight it. I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna give him a previous code state, and I'm gonna say let's go back. I pasted the previous code, and let's do instead of fighting it, let's just go on with our like synthesis life. So let's do create an additional start, middle, and end menus, the same as what we have now, but these should affect a second wave. And now, when clicking to create the final wavetable file, crossfade between the first wave and the first wave, morphing between the start, middle, and end we had previously, and the second wave, morphing between the new start, middle, and end parameters. Let's see. I'm just experimenting here. It could be that this works as well. I wonder if it gets this one right, because this is like, this has potential. Whoa, look. Okay, select waveform for wave 2. Maybe it will work. I'm not so sure. Let's see. So I've added additional controls for wave 2 and updated the logic to crossfade between 1 and 2. So it did understand, it definitely understands my requests. And we're going to save. And what is this red shit over here? This looks like it's going to work. And there's an unexpected indent, but it's a bit weird that it actually does that. Where does he want this indent? Like, this is weird. Okay, so I'm going to show it what it did. And I'm going to say there is a bad indent. It's going to look here somewhere, I suppose. And now I'm thinking this is not going to work, because when it starts getting into, when it starts getting into bad indents, I'm actually not, so I don't want to be coding. That's the whole point. So I just want to see here. So is the whole thing like what he doesn't want it? Like, what doesn't it like? All right, we're gonna run it and show him the error. And we're gonna do this. It's weird that stuff like indents gets him, you know? And we have a fail to edit over here again. So it seems that my attempt to correct and there's some issues with matching specific parts. Let me simplify my approach and aligning all the block level indents properly for consistent formatting. So is he actually doing that? To be honest, maybe we can just kill this exception. So let's try that. Let's try that. But again, whole point was that I wouldn't touch it at all. Let's try that. I think it might work, because this looks to me like it was just trying to catch the exception, and we can maybe just not catch it. Yeah, no, it's still not liking it. What if I de-indent the whole thing, I wonder? Yeah, now it likes it. Cool, so we're back. But again, like the point being, I really wonder why it doesn't understand such a simple, like it built this whole fucking thing from scratch and it fails on this. Like, that is weird. And you know, I could be fighting, that's the thing, I've been exploring this for a while now, and when I make Python scripts with ChatGPT, this is a common failing. Like, and I would understand if there's really, really crazy stuff, but as we saw right now, like, it took me a minute to understand myself, right? It was just really a simple thing. And I think now we can actually even bring this back, I suppose. Or not. Well, interesting. Okay, I don't care about this exception. Fuck it. So we're gonna do this, and we're gonna see that it. Let's just see that if it even did what. Oh, now what? Now what? Ah, okay. Let's just see if it even did the synthesis correctly. So I guess the easiest way to test this is if we go to the first waveform and we don't touch it, so it's all sines, and then we do the second waveform so that it's all, I don't know, like squares, or else it would get funky inside and we wouldn't, we want to really kind of know if we did the crossfade, if it's really doing the crossfade. So let's call this OS cross. Let's create the wavetable and let's see what it looks like if we go into our wavetable wave editor. So let's take OS cross, let's throw it back in here. and it looks like it did it, but they look too much the same. I'm not so sure, you know. It didn't, I think, what did it do? It doesn't look like a crossfade, does it? Because every single cycle looks the same. I expected it to start with a sine and to slowly kind of crossfade and end up with a square. Let's try some other waves. I just kind of want to understand what it really did here. How about we try square, and then the second waveform a sawtooth. Let's see what that ends up as. Okay, it does do something weird. I don't know what it did. Maybe poop baby it's doing it. The thing is, I have to be honest, I wanted to create cool waveforms. So maybe I can live with craziness. Let's just try one more thing here. Let's do... okay, I started with triangle here. Fair enough. I made a mistake. One more thing. Let's do it like this. Yeah, it makes a little bit more sense on some level. It's still, what is this weird thing nudge over here? But this is interesting. I just want to try it in contact. So let's take it. It's weird that it doesn't really morph, but why is that? Like if I go... Oh, it's cross. Yeah, it's actually not morphing, is it? It's the same waveform throughout. That is weird. So I'm not exactly sure what's up with the morph. Let's tell him that. So let's say, let's give him the parameters we have. So square, 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 saw, saw, saw. And show him what we have set up. Let's show him the result. And say, exporting and looking at the wave. It does not look like morphing. Wait, the first thing we need to do is actually give him the correct code. Okay, like the waves cross fade. Let's see. It seems like that is not visually distinct in the such as using gradual blend based on the current cycle index. Okay, whatever, bro. Do it. Let's see what you have for us. So let's save. And hopefully he didn't bork the whole fucking application. Okay, it didn't bork the whole application. And now let's do, okay, so we have start, middle, end. Let's keep it on the sine wave. And then let's go for the square. And blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Let's just give it weird names for now. And let's see what this one looks like. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And you can see that the waveform, yes, now it's doing it. Fuck yeah. Okay, that's pretty fucking cool. So now it's really doing it. And now I think we can get, let's actually first have a look in contact. So let's grab it and throw it here. And whoa, that's actually a nice, I really like those kind of subtle morphs with the LFO here. So we're definitely getting somewhere. Maybe we're even finished. I'm not sure. Let's try to do some crazy stuff. Actually we're not finished because I happen to know this AskGen library and it has additional types of waves, sine, square, triangle, sawtooth. Let's maybe try to to tell him that, and maybe let's help him out really quickly. So we're gonna go to the page for AskGen, and we're gonna look. Yeah, you see, there's other wave shapes. Other wave shapes are supported by the signal generator, and we're gonna look for all these thingies over here. So let's include all the available shapes that the AskGen library provides in our menus and synthesis code. So I'm really hoping that what he does right now understands this and adds this shark fin and all that other stuff in there. Let's see. So editing, and we should be seeing them here. Yeah, sawtooth noise, exponential saw. Yes, it's looking good so far. Let's see. Take the code, paste, kill our old application, and run it. Nice. All right. So let's just simply do noise on all of them. I just want to see that it literally creates the noise. So let's do, yeah, noise and shit. Create wavetable. And it's saying that it did it. And let's have a look. And where is our noise? Yes, we have some noise. That is pretty cool. Noise sounds weird. Let's see how Contact responds to this. It's gonna attempt to make it something harmonic. Yeah, it's completely weird. It's not exactly the wave shape you want to use with wavetables, but it's good to know that this thing is working. Another thing that's kind of annoying me is this little Python icon. Let's tell it to change that. So let's change the Python icon, and we're going to tell it to the icon. What did I placed an icon here. Okay, let's just call it logo to make our life easier. To the icon logo.png, which is placed in the assets subfolder of where the scripts folder. Let's see if this works. It should. Like, it did much crazier stuff right now, right? So this should be kind of fine. I've added the code to set the window icon, blah, blah, blah. All right. It would be kind of funny if this borks it. Always a possibility. It's loading with the Python icon, and yeah, it didn't bork it, but it didn't do it. And I want to look at the code now. So there should be logo.png, and there is no logo.png. And we're going to tell him that I don't see the logo.png. Jesus Christ. To be generated dynamically, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's what you should have done from the start, but oh, what did I do here? Okay. Sorry, ChatGPT, man. Let's copy and see what we have now. Jesus, bro, you're not doing the logo. I'm gonna give it one more try and then go on with my life with the synthesis, and I'm gonna show him where the logo lives. I'm gonna kill all these waves, and I'm gonna show him literally. So, dude, this is where the logo should be taken from relative to the script in assets subfolder. I did tell him that in my original prompt though. Like I'm a bit, why is it struggling here, you know? The icon should likely persist because okay. So he's changing it to explicitly check the path. And there is no fucking error to report, dude. It exists. Just go to the right path, bro. Okay, let's see. So. It's still not doing it. Okay, bro, you're super annoying. Let's skip the icon stuff. So let's stick with what we have right here and try to generate some cool waveforms. I think this already can do a lot. So how about we just go nuts a little bit and see what we have. So let's do triangle, shark fin, sine maybe, and then the other one can be like maybe sine in the middle, but starts with like so that one starts with a triangle. So how about not so rude? So maybe saw, sine, and yeah, I don't know, exponential saw. OS, cool. Let's generate this cool one. So we have Mr. Cool, and I'm curious how it looks in Wavelab, and then we're going to take it to contact as well. Whoa, okay, that is super duper weird. How about I'm gonna try something. I don't know if it will work. So let's show him this. And say the resulting wave is super offset. Could you normalize or otherwise make sure all the cycles are consistent? I'm not sure it's going to understand this request. Let's see. Yeah, he's doing some normalization. The thing is, it should, yeah, is it normalizing per cycle? To the crossfading version, all cycles. Let's see. Let's really see. I'm a bit surprised. It did understand the question. This is cool. It does understand it. Sometimes it's surprising me, like the stuff that it does understand, and then like falters on really stupid stuff. Okay, let's try again and do something crazy. So it's again kind of like, I don't know, triangle. What did we have? Triangle, shark fin, sine, and then I don't know, sawtooth. We should have the ability to make things persistent. Whatever. Let's do that later. Yeah, I don't know, sawtooth, sine. I think we had something like this, right? Square. I don't know. Generate wavetable. So, oh, I forgot to give it a cool name. Whatever. Let's try. And it's this. Yeah, this is looking really good. Wow, it did understand that last request with the normalization. That is cool. Okay, so we're getting somewhere for sure. So now we can go and take our little crazy wave and throw it over here. Wow, I love the shape. Look at the 3D shape. This is quite cool. Nice geometry. I mean, I know it means nothing, like this geometry has no bearing on how it may or may not sound, but I like it when it looks cute. Let's remove the depth here and just listen to how it sounds like if we're purely morphing. So we have a really nice morph going here. What if we add some like delay, and maybe it should be like maybe just a reverb. Wait, we do have some depth. Sorry, it was still morphing. The depth wasn't. Okay, now it should be fine. And maybe let's let it morph. That's not bad at all. That's a really cool wavetable. And now I guess, aside from it not changing the freaking icon, it is actually like, it has really, really cool, you could, like the possibilities here are already pretty insane, because you just need to do these like crazy combinations and just export the whole thing. Nothing stops from doing a third waveform or a fourth waveform, or doing, instead of like start, middle, and end, we can do start, middle, middle to, end. You know, we can really, really get insane. My experience with wavetables is actually, if you get completely insane, it stops being musical and cool. So, I mean, you already saw here that it, like all these morphs, you have to kind of stay a little bit musical. Maybe let's try one last thing before we close this. So this library also has a bunch of like, processing. So you can do like, as you can see here, I think this is like, is it clipping or something like that? Yeah, it is. Clipping. Applies hard clipping. What else do we have? We have tube. We have fold. We have shape. That is cool. Slew. And downsample and quantize. Okay, so there's a bunch of this stuff. I'm thinking, what is the best way to let ChatGPT know about all this without kind of getting into too much of a mindfuck? Let's just show him the screenshots. I think that might be best. So let's show clip, let's show tube, and let's show fold. And then let's show, where did I go? Let's show fold, and then let's show shape. We have to also think about like what are the actual parameters of each one. But let's first get those screenshots in. I find that showing screenshots is probably like the best for me. It really is the quickest way for me to work with ChatGPT for a lot of things, because it just analyzes pictures pretty well from my experience. But let's see. So we actually gave it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This should be interesting because it's a lot of information to feed it at once. And what I want to look at over here is what does it actually do. So it actually does it across the wavetable, right? So and I'm wondering if we should, I'm thinking for a moment, like what should be the parameter that we should be giving it? Let's try this. So let's try by telling it, okay, ask Gen provides a number of, what are they calling it? Are they calling it processors, or what are they calling it? Yeah, processors. Okay. Number of processors, misspelling, not that it matters, provides a number of processors that can further shape the resulting waves. Let's give a menu that, how should we do this though? Do we want to do a menu? Okay, let's give a menu for each of our waves. So wave 1 and wave 2 individually, where one of these processes can be selected. And I'm thinking now, what should be the additional parameter, right? Because like should the Should it be like you select it and it just does it, or you select it and it also kind of morphs through the wavetable? Maybe let's try like this, just really simple. One of these processes can be selected. The selected process should be applied such that no processing occurs at the start, 50% process, I don't know if it will understand this. This is complex. Let's see. Occurs at the middle point, and again, zero processing occurs at the end point with a, well, I'm thinking we need to tell it that we want it to like interpolate with the in between spots interpolated. I don't know. Let's see. Like, this is pushing it. Like, also my text is not that great, and it's a ton of pictures. On the other hand, let's see. We can always undo. Yeah, it's doing stuff. Morph waveform 1, blah, blah, blah. We have apply processor over here, so stuff is happening. Curious. Okay, let's kill our thing meanwhile. It looks like he's still thinking a little bit. Wow, I've added processor selection menus allowing you to choose a DSP process for each wave. The selected processor is applied at different intensity levels from start 0% through the middle to the end. Wow, it fucking stood. That's super exciting. Let's see. So, let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Wow. Okay, one thing I also see here is that the window has become too big. It should let us resize the window. I don't think we can work like this at all. Let's just see. Select processor for wave 1. Cool, it's there. Select processor for wave 2. Amazing. And you know what? This is actually cool because I didn't tell him to add the none option, and he still added it. It could be annoying that you tell it to add things, that you don't tell it to do something and it does. In our case, it's good that it did it. What I'm going to show him now is that the app is too big. The app is too big. We need to be able to vertically resize and scroll the app vertically. Let's see. Now with this GUI stuff, as you saw before, when we just simply try to tell it to add the icon or to group the controls, it could be bonkers. But from my experience, scrolling is kind of okay usually. Let's see, why does this final waves append is not defined, bro? What did you do? Was it like this before? Yeah. So I have a feeling that once we click to save the wave, it's gonna crash or something because something is not defined. But let's see. Cool. So this it understood. The application is scrolling. That is super nice. Let's create the wave. Boom. Yeah, it crashed because definitely that is not defined. So what I do here is if I have a crash report, I like to screenshot the crash report and the error in the console. Maybe it's overkill for a lot of these cases, but I don't know. It just tends to work well, more or less. So let's try that. 1 second. So we're going to go and copy this, and we're gonna paste it back in here and say, and actually I'm not gonna give it even information, like he should be deducing here because the error is right clear. Final wave, well, duh, is not defined before it's used. So now it's defined. That's kind of weird though, these kinds of errors, right? Because like before it still had the like why was this introduced, you know? I don't know, but okay, let's try it. So now we don't see the error here. That's already a good sign. And let's do that. Let's, before testing out what we have, let's just see that it's not crashing now. Cool, it's not crashing now. And now I think we can actually do a cool test here if we just keep everything on sine and we do downsample or quantize. Like I'm trying to find something quite rough where we see that it definitely affected the sine. So I don't know, let's call it wave rough, create wavetable, and let's see what happens. So we go here, we have our little rough guy, and let's see what it looks like. Wow, okay, that is a bit weird. I don't know, what the fuck. Let's see if this is just because of the new processors or if it destroyed something else. So let's put these two on none, and I don't know, let's do test. And now we should be seeing just a plain old sine wave, right? So let's create it. And let's load this. Yeah, so this is fine. What I don't understand, like what is this? Actually, it's not fine because we're supposed to just have a sine wave and it's not. So this is odd. What changed? Let's have a quick look again. So we have, okay, I'm sorry. Wave 1 was on clip. Okay, let's try this again. Like there's obviously some mistakes in the processors, but let's before that, let's just make sure that if there's no processors, okay, yeah, this is looking fine. This is what we wanted to see, that it's just sine waves. And now let's find out what is weird with these processors. So maybe let's go and do, I don't know, let's do slew for the first one, and let's do, I don't know, fold for the second one, and let's see what it looks like now. To be honest, if this processor stuff doesn't work out in the end, I'm okay-ish with that. Wow, crazy shit again. Did it forget the normalizing? Maybe we should tell it to, like, I think it is doing it, but it's just not doing it after the processing. It's doing it before, I think. Let's try to prove that point. So if we do no processing and we go sine, 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 like we did before. So let's do something weird, like, I don't know, sine, square, saw, and then this one maybe like exponential saw, sine, and triangle. No processors. Let's call it blah, 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 blah. Create wavetable. I'm just curious. Let's see. Yeah, so what I'm thinking is that and maybe we can use the wave to show it to him maybe. So let's do like we need that normalizing bit before, well, after the processors. So it looks like we need the normalizing code to happen after the processors. I'm not so sure like if this is actually correct synthesis doing it this way, because let me think, like we're processing, because in the end it's doing what we told it to do, like it's crossfading really weird waves, and of course it results in that way. You know what, let's just see. So let's just see how it corrects it and what it results in. I've moved on to happen after the process is complete. Ensure that maybe it's okay. It's consistent in amplitude. Yeah, maybe it's fine. Let's try it. So let's save again. And now we can go back here one more time. I'm having so much fun, I have to be honest. This is super interesting. And then let's do, what did we do before? So fold and shape. I don't know, whatever. Okay, and it's OS wave, so we go to OS wave. Oh yeah, that's still a bit weird. And what I don't understand is why with the processing it has this little, I'm not too sure if to give it in the same prompt both of these issues. Okay, maybe it's expected, to be honest, like this. That's what I'm saying, you know, like, but okay, let's just give it one more go. So we're gonna show him this, And we're going to say, we're going to show the settings. And we're going to say 2 issues. When processing is selected, it seems like there is some weird offset at the start of the wave. Is this a bug issue with the processors, or did we do something wrong on our side? Because I'm not exactly sure, because I don't know how his code would affect this offset. It seems to me like, and then the normalizing still looks odd. Is this what I want to ask, is this an expected outcome due to the extreme processing? Let's see. The issue is seeing with the offset might be due to the way we're applying and combining the processors. Let's just, okay, let's see. We'll ensure offset to address any unintended, well, it's not these, okay, I think he meant, I didn't, okay, let's see. We should add a high-pass filter and manually subtract the mean value to make sure the waveform. That is actually cool that he knows this shit. Like, I'm impressed. Like, he understands what's up. Doesn't mean that it's gonna be correct in the end, but he understands what's up. That's already cool. Okay. So he added 1 line of code, curious. And let's kill it and let's load it again. And we just want to do, shape, let's say, or fold and shape and see what happens. Oh, it crashed. Interesting. NP is not defined, but I saw him define it in the beginning. Okay, let's see. Well, we said we're going to give him the report. At least, start. Well, duh. This is stuff that's annoying. Like, how does he not understand that this should be where it should, I don't get it. Like, it's doing all this complex stuff, you know, like here, and understanding my weird requests, like, gets what I mean, does it, but forgets to put the declarations. Weird. Okay. Anyways, let's go on. Paste. And let's go again here and do tube, shape, create. Okay, it didn't crash. That's a good sign. And it still has this offset in the beginning of the file. That's super annoying. I don't understand that. But otherwise, it's looking fine-ish. Wow, pretty cool. Okay, I want to find out about this. So I'm going to show the offset. And I wonder what is the size of this. This is curious. So it's how many samples? Oh, it looks like, is it? No, it's not a complete cycle. Like how? Oh, it is. It's 1 complete cycle. That is weird. Okay, but it's actually good information if it's 1 complete cycle, because it's something to do with what we're doing, I guess. So when applying a processor, we end up with a file where the first cycle is empty, missing. Is this an issue with us? Like, I'm suspecting it's not an issue with our code, you know? Is this an issue with OSCGen or with our app code? I'm going to show him the picture. I'll address. Let me, so he seems to think we have a problem. He's adding lots of lines. Okay, let's see. To ensure consistent for both waves, normalizing each cycle. Well, but that's not the, I'm not sure, you know, I think we're still gonna see that. I don't think this is, I don't think he got it. I'm happy to be proven wrong though. So let's see. Processor for wave 1, whatever, tube and shape. Let's create. And let's see what we have. Oh, I'm not sure, did it overwrite? Let's try it again. So let's give it another name. Yeah, so we still have this missing cycle. That's so weird. I wonder what's up here. So I'm gonna try this one more time. If this doesn't work, I'm just gonna live with the other stuff. Well, I'm gonna try two things actually. You know what? Okay, let's give it this as a start. So it is still happening. First cycle is borked when using processors. Well, duh. Ah, yeah, it's, yeah, maybe we can't be at 0. Right. Okay, maybe I understand what's up here as well. Let's look at what he did, and I think we can guide him further. But he seems to have not. Yeah. That when the first factor is 0, yeah, exactly. So I think it was multiplying by 0 in the end, because in the end it's my mistake in a way, because I told him to start from 0. Right, when he said we go from 0 to 50% and back to 0, I think I'm optimistic now that he fixed it. Let's see. So we're gonna call it yay, because it's fixed, right, bro? Is it? Let's see. So this is the borked one from before. And where is yay? There's yay. Yay! Yay is fixed. Amazing. So I think we're kind of done. Like, of course you could do a lot of other really crazy things, but this is a pretty sick wavetable generator over here. Let's try to create some cool waves with it now. So let's do so the first thing I wanted to try, actually, you know what, another test. Like, the first thing I wanted to try is if we just quantize and downsample. We quantize the first one, we downsample the second one. Let's call it odd. Let's see what happens. Oh, and we have a crash. Let's see what's the crash. So could not broadcast together. Oh, wow. That is weird. This is a weird error that we have not seen. So let's do that. And let's show this. Invalid value encountered in divide. Yeah, I think there's just some math error here probably. I don't want to read too much into it. Let's show him what we have. Happened when selecting, I think, what was it? Quantize and downsample processors. Wow, I'm curious if he can fix this. Let's see. Like, now we kind of has to check the math. Yeah, let's see. Did he go to sleep? Hello? Hello? We're not seeing the thinking thing. Did you die on us, mate? There we go. There you're seeing operand occurs because there is a shape mismatch. Yeah, okay. It can alter the length of the waveform unexpectedly. Nice, he's still getting it. That is pretty cool. I'm really impressed by the way that, like, I'm throwing, like, yeah, it's impressive To ensure the resulting waveform always has the correct length, avoiding, please try running the script again. Cool, let's try running the script again at this point, and we're gonna go do that, and now he has a totally different error. Amazing. I hope now we're not gonna start going into this loop of errors. Maybe not. It looks like, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. So we're gonna give him the screenshot as before. Yeah. So he's making the edit. This looks to me like something he can fix, actually. Like some misplaced, like he's saying. Made 8 edits. Wow. Why are you making 8 freaking edits, bro? That's a lot of edits. And now he's kind of on this. I don't understand this failed to edit because this is maybe like a bug in the Canvas thing, because he's saying failed to edit, you see, and then he says, okay, made edits, and then he's, yeah, that's weird. Like the way it works is weird. I mean, like, because you're thinking that it's failing and it's actually not failing, it's still thinking. Okay, we're back. And now we want to make sure that we do this like these 2 processors and it doesn't crash. So let's do tube and fold. And I'm just going to make a few, shape and slew. And just see that it's not crashing at this point. Downsample and quantize and downsample. Let's do that. And we do have another crash. Okay, so quantize and downsample is what still crashes. And we're going to show this to him again. So we're going to tell him that combination of quantize and downsample still crashes. Yeah, you said that before, bro. When calculating the crossfade, I'll correct this issue, but both arrays have the same shape during the crossfade operation. What does that mean in the end? I don't understand exactly what he meant by that, but that's why I use ChatGPT and not code it myself, I guess. I don't know. What does he mean? Okay, fine. So we said that quantize and downsample, well, why is it selecting slew? Downsample and quantize was crashing, right? That's, I don't know, 555. And it's still crashing, mate. But it's doing a different, it's doing this operands thing from before. So I'm going to show it to him. And I hope we're not getting into this crash loop with ChatGPT, as he sometimes does. Different, well, why am I even, you don't even need to write this, to be honest. Like, it's enough to show the picture, but whatever. So different crash now. Yeah, well, see, that's the loop. So he did that before. And then it's gonna, now I'm not so optimistic anymore because he's doing those edits, going back and forth between like fixing one bug, inducing another, like the other bug, fixing the other bug, inducing the other bug, and just like, yeah, just going completely back and forth. I think this is still gonna crash. Let's see. This is like typical. No, it didn't. Wow. So downsample quantize did not crash. And then let's do quantize downsample. Or it's quantize. Well, quantize is a relevant test too, I would say. Okay, they're not crashing. Let's see how they look now. So, wow, what is the... I need to remove all this. Let's look at these two. It's doing weird stuff, but I don't know, to be honest, it might just be the processing. So I'm gonna leave him alone with that for now, and I want to actually close the video soon. So what I would like right now is, let's just make some cool examples. I hope we don't catch more crashes, but let's just see what we get. let's not do stuff like insane downsampling of both of them and shit like that. Let's just create some cool waves. So how about the first one, select start is sine, and let's do one that goes like sine, triangle, saw, and then the second one would be like, yeah, how about triangle, square, triangle. And let's call this OS. And now we're just, yeah, we want to make a bunch of waves. So let's call this wave 1. Create wavetable. Awesome. Maybe this now the same one, but yeah, let's try with quantize and tube. Wave 2. Let's try shape and shape. So they're different, like it's fine because they're different shapes to begin with. And then let's try, yeah, we should have a button here that resets everything. Or we should have a button that saves and loads. Should we? You want to do it, guys? Yeah, let's do it, guys. Okay, let's do it. Let's add a button on the bottom that when clicked resets all the menus to initial values. Cool, that's one. And it's probably better to do this prompt by prompt, but I want to make his life difficult on purpose. So we're going to do it in one prompt and let's see what happens. So we have the button that resets all the menus to initial values. Let's add a second button on the bottom. Well, on the bottom, let's called the first one, let's call it reset. Called reset. And when clicked, resets all the menus to initial values. And let's add a second button on the bottom called save. Ah, this is such overkill. That when clicked, saves the values to a file in, let's make a subfolder here in the presets, in a subfolder called presets, which exists in the folder that script is run from. And you know what? Let's tell him to select by himself. Like, you can choose the format and tech to use. And for example, JSON. Let's see if he's probably going to select JSON, but let's see. Let's add a third button on the bottom called load that opens an OS dialog allowing, well, wait, an OS dialog, the dialog defaulting, the dialog location defaulting to the path the script is running from, and then we say when a file is selected, attempt to load the preset from that file. Let's see if he gets all this. I'm curious if it's gonna all be messed up, or like my experience, this kind of stuff, it usually does well. So I expect it to do good, but we can always be surprised and can always just completely destroy our code, as we saw as well. So let's see what happens. He's doing a lot of edits, I see. Yeah, it's gonna require him to add a bunch of stuff. And there we go. Just going over line by line. It's probably gonna add like, like 5 or 10 lines to the code or something. Let's see, maybe more. I don't know, you need to import JSON, I guess. No? Yes, yeah, he's using JSON. And you see it's not as fast as it was in the very, very beginning. It's taking him a while. To be honest, we have 256 lines of code and it's working code. It's not so bad, I have to say. And we're asking him like weird stuff about wavetables and things like that, right? Save preset, yeah, well, it's going to be more than 10 new lines, but yeah. Okay, I'm curious about this. Let's see what happens now. So we're going to paste it in. Yeah, it's way more than 10 lines of code. It's like 70 new lines of code or something like that. So the whole application is, I don't know, let's see if it's fragile or not at this point. Let's first, before we do anything, let's try the reset. So I'm going to change it to fold, reset. Okay, awesome, it did work. I'm going to change this to 96. I'm going to change this to 24. I'm just going to do weird shit. And reset. Ow. Okay, the reset definitely works. How about saving? So let's put these two like this. Let's save. Okay, it just say, well, we're going to need to open an OS dialog, I guess, for saving. But okay, for now, it works. Let's just see that it works. We're going to reset, we're going to load, and we're going to go to presets. Yeah, it put it in. Wow, I'm impressed. And wow, this is all working. That is pretty amazing. Okay, all good, but we want to add that functionality where you can actually save the file with your own name. So how about for the save button, let's change the behavior so that the user, so that an OS dialog opens and the user can select the file name to be saved. The dialog should open defaulting to the script location. I'm pretty positive that it's going to work with this. You saw that it did all that other stuff with the saving and loading and with the JSON. Like, it's pretty cool how it's doing all that. And I assume that we're going to be fine. And hopefully it's one of the last things we're going to do. Wow, this stream is already 76 minutes. It's crazy. Like, I didn't even notice the time passing. Cool, so it's kind of going over it. Yeah, I guess it needs to push everything down as it's adding the new functionality. And you see, obviously, as it's getting a little bit more complex, the prompts take it some more time. It also, of course, depends on what we're prompting him. Like in this time, we really, like with the last two prompts, like it's really changing the core functionalities. Like he's kind of re-scripting some of it. So of course it takes it a little more. And to be honest, we ended up with one more line of code. And let's see what we have. Cool. So at this point, let's make a small change. Let's click save. Yes, dialog opens. Yes, opens in the correct location. I guess I should have told it to open in the presets folder, but yeah, small. And let's call it yay, yay, yeah. All right, and it adds the JSON extension as it should. Everything works correctly. Let's reset. Let's load. Let's go to our presets and let's take our yeah JSON, and we see that it worked. That is super cool. So I think we're done now, to be honest. We have the, well, it bothers me that it didn't change the icon, but I'm not gonna have you sitting here on the video watching me force it to change the icon, or should I? I don't know, it's bothering me, guys. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go like this. And I'm gonna try to be a little bit more explicit than last time. So the app icon is still wrong. And I'm gonna show him a screenshot of where the icon what, didn't we do this though? I don't know. So see screenshot for the path to the icon relative to the script. The icon is logo.png. Let me, is it really a PNG? Yeah, it's logo.png. We're not wrong. So let's see if this, like, oh, I didn't paste the second screenshot. Still, would you like to troubleshoot? Yes, that's the, well, I don't know why does it not get the last prompt? Okay, but whatever. Yes, that's the final thing. Let's make sure the logo PNG is correctly loaded. See screenshot for path. I'm curious to already make some wavetables with this thing. Dude, come on, get the icon right and let's go on with our lives. It looks like I made some modifications, but the application icon did not take effect. I'll correct that now. It's probably set to logo. Wow, is he gonna go through line by line again now? Okay. Interesting, but whatever. So we're gonna let him do his thing. And this is a little bit weird to me, you know, the way ChatGPT behaves, because like, why would it go slow once it reaches here? Like, it should know that it's no longer changing code at this point, and you see it's struggling here with speed. It even looks like it stopped. Okay, it's continuing a little bit, and now it's, yeah, this should actually go like it's no longer, you're no longer changing code, you made the change on top. All right, so we're almost through the whole thing, and I really hope, if it doesn't work right now, I'm just gonna drop it and let it stay on the old icon. Probably set the application from the assets folder as indicated in your screenshot. Sounds promising. Let's see. Let's run it. No, we still don't have our icon, and he's so sure that he did it correctly. Okay, fuck that guy. I don't know what he wants from our life, but let's just, yeah, whatever, bro. Keep your icon. Cool. So let's do some more waveforms. Let's do one that starts with a square, maybe goes to like a shark fin, ends with a square, and then the second one is gonna be like, I don't know, triangle, sine, triangle. So that we have sort of a morph that goes through the whole thing. Well, you know what? It's too symmetrical. Well, is it? I don't know. Why am I thinking so much? Let's make some cool waves. Do we want some processing? Maybe no. So let's do OS Coolio. And let's call it Coolio no. Create wavetable. Wait, what? We didn't tell. Well, now it made some stupid shit. The save dialog was for saving the thingamajig, not for the, you know what I mean? Like, wow, okay. We have to tell him that. Okay, we have to fix this. So create dialog. Dialog should not load. Sorry. Create wavetable should simply save the wave with the name as before. The OS dialog for saving should only pertain to, like, I don't know if we want that. Okay, should only happen when saving a preset. I hope it can revert now. Like, this is worrying me a little bit because, yeah. It looks like it understood, like it's doing something. I really hope this is the last one. I really want to hear those waves. I mean, we could already hear some of them while it's working. How about OS Wave 1? Oh wow, really cool. Weird shapes. I love it. Let's see Wave 2. Oh wow, this is crazy. Like, there's some empty ones here, but it could be because of all the quantizing and stuff. Wave 3. Oh wow. Huh. Maybe let's remove the reverb and the LFO. So, you know, of course, when making these, like, you see that it's super aggressive here. The first one is a sign, and there's a jump, and there's all these weird things going on. But that is more up to us now. It's not a mistake. It's not a mistake in the code anymore. It's like how you kind of use all those things that we set up. It's really easy to make messed up wavetables as well while you're experimenting. So that is not a bug in our application by any means. Now we just want to make sure that the create wavetable, yeah, it goes back to the previous behavior, and let's give it like some name that we didn't have before. Let's see. Okay, that's fine. And this should still save with the, let's see. So how about we have slew and tube. Yes, now it's working. I think it got, maybe it's even a little bit on me. I wasn't completely explicit what I meant when I told him, hey, open an OS dialog. Okay, this looks finished to me now, everyone. So how about, yeah, so let's create some more. So sine, triangle to exponential saw. And then the second one can be sine, well, let's not start with a sine. Let's start with a triangle. And you can also, you don't have to be really crazy, right? I can decide that the second one is a triangle the whole way, for example. Oops, sorry, I meant, oh, I didn't do, wait, what did I do? So we have sine, yeah, I didn't, so we have sine, let's do sine, triangle, square saw. And then let's do triangle, triangle, triangle. Cool 5. I don't know. Whatever. Cool 5. So how are you doing, cool 5? There's this small jump here in the middle. I don't know if I was going to say I don't like it, but not necessarily. Yeah, it doesn't morph that well in the middle here because of the shapes that I selected, I assume. I'm thinking one more thing. Yeah, I keep saying that. How about let's do, I have one idea. I promise this is the last idea. So before, let's do add a checkbox before the sample name field. If this checkbox is unselected, is unticked, use only the first, and what is the actual term we have it? Use only wave 1 in the resulting wavetable file calculation. No crossfade. If it is ticked, use both waves, wave 1 and wave 2, as now with the crossfade between them, and the checkbox should be ticked by default. Make sure to add this checkbox's state to the preset save and load system. Cool. Let's see what happens. So I think he's probably going to have now some stuff to do, because all this like wavetable creation code he has on the bottom really depends on this whole crossfading mechanism. So he has to add the checkbox in the correct location, make sure that it, like the functionality, and also make sure that it gets into the preset stuff. I don't know if he's thinking or he just quit on me. Like I hate when ChatGPT does that, when there's like no feedback. Hello? Hello? Is he doing anything? Are you doing anything? Hello? Bro, there you go. I've added a feature checkbox before the sample name field called use. Did he do that? When did you do that? Okay, he says he did it. But did he though? Like it's the same amount of... I'm not... Okay. Who am I to say? No, you didn't do it, bro. Where do you see it? Like, where do you see it? I don't think you did it. Okay. You did. I don't see this checkbox in the code. What did he do? Yeah, ghost in the machine. What are you doing, ChatGPT? There we go. Now he's probably going to do it. Combo box. Should be some checkbox. Yeah, there it is. So now he added it. He's doing it now. Check. It's kind of funny, right? He's like, yeah, I've added it, bro. Check the new code. And you're like, no, you didn't add it. Like you did nothing. This is funny stuff sometimes, but okay. And yeah, I promise we're gonna get this checkbox in there, create a couple more waveforms, and end this stream. So is he? Where are we? Okay. Now he has to put it into the preset system. There we go. It's in there. In the save preset, we're gonna see it probably. Oh, in the reset. I forgot to tell him to do it in the reset. He did it. Okay. Now I'm confident that now it should be done. And it's kind of easy to test as well, because we can just I'll show you. So we have it in there. Use crossfade between waves. So now if I go to selected waveform for wave 2, and I do, let's say the first wave is a sine and the second one is a square, and this is checked, we should be seeing this thing like we saw before. Cross. Let's see. Cool. Let's load cross in here. And awesome. We see that it ends with a square and it starts with a sine. Now let's remove that and do no. So this should just be a, or shit, what did we have? Sorry, like this wasn't even on a square. So we should have sine. We should just have sine. So let's see. And if we load that in now, we should just be seeing just a pure sine wave. And we do! Amazing! So this all works. Our thingamajig works. We have a really cool, if super weird wavetable creator, but it's creating really, really cool waves. We can morph between a wave from start, middle, and end position that has a lot of interesting shapes. We have a second wave that we can crossfade with the first wave. We can have some weird processing that albeit maybe doesn't always work as expected. We saw with the downsample and with the quantize that it just becomes really, really crazy, but fine. We have it for both of them. We can choose to crossfade or not to crossfade. We can create our wavetable with parameters such as the number of cycles, the frame size for each cycle. So for example, contact, it loaded really nice here because it's correct for contact. Contact uses 2048 slices. Yeah, well, not 100 cycles, but 2048 frame size per cycle. We chose our bit rate and our sample rate. It's working amazing. If we have some setup that we like, we can definitely save it. We can reload it. Or if we just moved some things and now we just want to start over, we can go back to an initialized state without reloading the application. Of course, the sky's the limit now. We can add a third wave, a fourth wave, a fifth wave, yeah, whatever. It works. This stream is 94 minutes, an hour and a half. We got ourselves a wavetable creator with an hour and a half of, I was going to say work. Was this actually work? In the end, it was work because we had to tell it a bunch of things, but we did not code 330 lines of code. And make no mistake, if we would have done this, like if you're coding this by yourself, you would have had a million bugs too, little things. You go in, you fix. I don't think you would be doing this in an hour and a half. Even if you have really good Python knowledge, you need to know Qt as well. Maybe you have really good Qt knowledge because you're a developer, you know that shit. But I'm not so sure that you know this particular AskGen library that well, right? You need to know this specific thing that we told it to use. And all it took for it was that we uploaded the library. We taught it like, hey, this is the library, and this is what we want you to do with it. It was struggling here and there, as you saw, like, but with weird things that I'm sure that, like, next versions of ChatGPT, like, come on, it's not gonna falter on stupid indents when it's doing all this correctly. Super positive experience. I had loads of fun doing it on the stream. I was super scared that, like, it would completely blow up and not work, considering that we have a working application and the only thing that didn't work is the fucking icon. I think we're good. You know, it's even resizable. I would say it's amazing, everyone. It's amazing what we just witnessed here. We have a wavetable creator. In fact, I'm 100% gonna use this wavetable creator to create wavetables for the next update of Porphyria. Small thing I wanted to say, we did actually use this AskGen already, this library, to create wavetables for Porphyria, but I had to create the script myself. So I created the script manually, and I'll be honest, I'm not the best Python developer in the world, and I for sure don't have experience with Qt on Python. My experience with Qt was when I was just a PM in the contact team. I've never coded Qt before in my life. I just know that it works. And this is our result. So I think let's end the stream right here. I'll have a think. Maybe I'll just throw this script somewhere online and that you can download it. By the way, if we continue a little bit more, I'm not going to do it right now, but we can also ask it to, I've done this before with ChatGPT, we can ask it to make a completely like standalone executable out of it. And it knows how to do that as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. That was a really cool learning experience for me as well. See you next time.